Many lawnmowers sold in Australia come with a Briggs and Stratton engine like this one here. This is the second of a series of 2 videos that I've made about servicing Briggs and Stratton powered lawnmowers. This video is about servicing the overhead valve engine or I-head version of this motor. Check out the link below for the other video that I did, which is on the flathead version of this motor. These American built motors are all simple single-cylinder 4-stroke engines that will last a long time if looked after. Recommended service intervals are an oil change after every 25 hours of operation, and major service such as I'll show you here after every 50 hours of operation. But if you're just mowing around your house every week in summer and less frequently in winter, then I'd recommend that the level of service I show here be done once a year, and in the middle of the year do an oil change. And please enjoy the video. This is an overhead valve, probably easiest to see by the presence of a valve cover with OHV on it for overhead valve. We're going to be doing a service on this one. Points we're going to be looking at are replacing the spark plug, which is under here, replacing the air filter, which is under here, changing the oil, which is done here. We will also look at the valve clearances, which means we will remove this cover, and as part of the job, as it is a mower, we'll be looking for any loose nuts and bolts, tightening those up, replacing any that are missing, and also looking at the condition of the blades. The first job is to remove and replace the air filter. The filter on this mower is a paper cartridge style, and this one is pretty dirty. Having removed the filter, I give the inside of the filter body a wipe out with a rag. I don't clean the filter, but instead I will replace it with a new one. Air filters are pretty cheap, and on a mower the unit has to deal with a lot of dusty air. Before fitting the new filter, I put a smear of rubber grease around the openings. The grease acts as both a sealant and a dust trap. Finally, I replace the air cleaner cover and the job is all done. To check the valve clearances, I find it easiest to remove the shroud on top of the motor. There are 3 screws that hold the shroud on. I use a 5/16 of an inch or 8mm socket to undo them. With the screws removed, I lift the shroud up and back. The front of the motor is now much easier to work on. I remove the spark plug lead by first twisting and then pulling it back before lifting it out of the way. Here I am degreasing and cleaning away the accumulated dirt around the valve cover and spark plug area of the cylinder head. I now undo and remove the 3 screws holding the valve cover on, again using a 5/16 of an inch or 8mm socket to undo them. I next remove the spark plug using a 5/8 of an inch or 16mm spark plug socket. I check the plug condition. This one has some carbon fouling, which is typical for these engines. Under the valve cover we find 2 rocker arms which open 2 valves on the left. The top one is the inlet valve and the bottom one the exhaust. Here I slide a screwdriver down through the spark plug hole and onto the top of the piston to use an indicator of piston position. I'm looking for the piston to be at the front of its stroke after the inlet valve is closed. Moving the fan on top of the motor rotates the crankshaft, and I do this until I feel the piston come right to the front after the inlet valve has closed. I then position the crank at the halfway point between the piston reaching the front and going back again, and at this position both valves are closed and I can now check the clearances between the valve and the rocker arm. I will check the valve clearances using feeler gauges. For this motor, the clearances between the rocker arm and the valve are the same for the inlet and exhaust valves and are both 4 to 8 thousandths of an inch or 0.1 to 0.2 millimeters. I am looking for a loose fit at the lower value and a tight or no fit at the upper value. All good, valve clearances are within specification for this motor. Having applied a non-setting gasket cement to the mating surfaces, I refit the valve cover. I am fitting a new spark plug, first adjusting the gap to specification. But before fitting the plug, I will coat the threads in a copper anti-seize grease. I now refit the spark plug lead. Here I am doing a visual and shake check to see if anything is loose or missing before refitting the shroud. I make sure the pull start engages the top of the motor properly as I do fit the shroud. The final job is to change the oil, and this is done by removing the filler cap and tipping the motor on its side. I use a block of wood to elevate the mower wheels to give a better drain position. Once the oil is fully drained, I return the mower to upright. And refill the oil. Here I am using SAE 30 weight oil. It takes 15 fluid ounces or 440 ml of oil to refill it. Not a lot of oil for a motor that works hard in dusty conditions, and it is important that you change the oil regularly. Finally, I will start the mower to ensure that all is working properly. The engine in this video is a 9000 series 625 EX unit, and I've listed the imperial and metric values for the service here. But if you intend to service your mower, please check your manual or the Briggs and Stratton website for the correct values that apply to your motor. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would welcome your thumbs up, and please share it amongst your friends. My channel is about stuff I do in the garage, it's not just lawnmowers. So I would also love you to subscribe to the channel, and if you do, don't forget to ding the bell so that you're reminded every time a new video comes out. Thank you.